What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Basic Black Becky. So I know I'm a little late on this news with things happening and developing so fast in the world. I know I'm kind of late with this, but I did want to talk about the Cardi B and Joe Biden interview. I'm not going to play the whole interview. If you guys want to go watch it, just find it on YouTube like I did and just watch it, okay? I'm going to talk about and highlight some things that I thought that was important that should have been talked about in this conversation. So let's get it.
Oh, snap. It's getting real.
How you doing?
Hi, Biden. How are you?
How are you?
So, Joe, I heard you got some questions for me.
Oh, I do have some questions for you. What I wanted to know was, tell me what's your main interest?
Well, first thing first, let me give it a buck. I just want Trump out. Like, we're dealing with a pandemic right now, right? And I just want answers. I want to know when this is over. Like, I want to go back to my job. I want to be able to go outside. I want to be able not to feel like I'm trapped in my home. I want like a timeline of when things are going to get better.
For a lot of you who have subscribed to my channel and who watch my content, know that I try to be fair. And when she made that statement, I was like, isn't that what we all want? Don't we all want to go back to work, open the schools? And business owners want to conduct business, customers interacting with businesses without the government acting as a nanny state.
I need somebody to tell me, like, this is going to be over when we find this cure. This is why it's taking so long. This is why other countries are doing better than ours when it comes to this pandemic.
Okay, let's think about that statement. She wants the United States to look at other countries as a better example for us to follow. Okay, let's take that. These countries who are dealing so much better with this pandemic than us have reopened their countries. They've reopened schools. They don't have mask mandates. So if we're going to follow these other countries as an example for us to do better, so let's do what they're doing. Open back up the country, drop the mask mandates, reopen the schools. But if you mention that point to people who think like she does, then they'll say, oh, well, that's their country and we shouldn't get involved in what their country does. But I'm digressing now.
I, of course, want free Medicare. And this is why it's important to have free Medicare, because look what's happening right now. You see why we should have been have free Medicare for a long time.
I just have to say something about this, and this is not throwing shade at Cardi or anything, but when she was talking through this whole thing, she was like rocking back and forth in her chair, and it was just driving me crazy. And I was like, girl, stop rocking, sit still. God dog. I don't know if anybody has told her, but we already have socialized medicine in this country. Socialized healthcare has been in this country for a very long time, even before I was born. But the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, fast-tracked it.
I just want more stricter laws that is fair to Black citizens. And, it's fair for cops too. If you kill somebody that doesn't have a weapon on them, you go to jail. You know what? If I kill somebody, I got to go to jail. You got to go to jail too.
I wanted to leave that part in there because I wanted to expound on something very important. When I first heard her say a grr like that, I laughed my ass off. I don't know if the rest of you guys did, but I did. I was like, what the fuck? But if you look at her face, it looks like she's looking at someone. She's looking at somebody down below her. And I would have to speculate and say that's probably her child she's talking to. And that's just speculation on my part. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But even Joe's face was like, what the fuck? And for all you people who are Candace Owens fans, I'm sorry, she's a goddamn idiot. Candace, that is. Y'all are not going to like what I'm going to say, and I don't care. Because this woman has too big of a platform. She has the ear of the president and many other conservative leaders. Y'all know that saying that people say use social media responsibly? Well, she's not doing that in this case with her tweet referring to Cardi B. I don't have a problem with celebrities, okay, holding a political view. whether it's liberal or conservative. I don't care. But what I do care about is people using their celebrity status, building bridges to bring peaceful discourse. And I know what Candace is trying to do. She's trying to make herself seem to her followers and to her base that she is intellectually superior to Cardi B. But really, all it shows me is that she's intellectually dishonest.
Tell me what your fans most say to you when they communicate with you online. What are they most concerned about?
Obviously, free college education, free Medicare, especially now that, you know, people are just getting sick left to right, left to right. And that's why I keep telling people, because sometimes people have problems in their community. They just wonder, like, for example, a lot of after school programs that I was growing up with, there's no after school programs a lot anymore in my hood.
That's right.
And
Nowhere.
it's like people are.
So anyway, I had to cut out a lot of this interview because during the whole interview, she kept reiterating and just repeating herself that she just wants free Medicare and free college tuition. So I had to cut a lot out because for me, it was like, okay, that's it. Okay, now back to my point about Candace Owens being intellectually dishonest. Now, we all know that financially this country cannot sustain, no country can sustain free medical care and free tuition. Why didn't Candace ask the question in her tweet? What if you have all this free health care and free tuition, but you lose your civil liberties? What difference does it make if you get all this free stuff, but don't have the freedom? If you can't speak out against a tyrannical, overreaching government, what difference does it make if you get all this free stuff, but you lose the power to hold your political officials accountable for not serving you or your community? Those are the questions she should have been asking, not worried about if Cardi B said, grr. She's trying to make herself seem like she's not interested in pop culture, but we see otherwise.
I'm just wondering why is that?
Because people don't want to pay the taxes for it.
That's partially true, but the reason why there are not more after-school care programs in the hood is because most parents do not want to pay their bill. It's not that the community don't need the service or that the contractor doesn't want to provide that service. But if you have a shortfall in your budget and you can't pay your staff and you can't get the materials you need in order to give the kids a great experience, they just cut their losses and they leave. They end the program. If a school district wants to put on a ballot an initiative to raise taxes in order to provide that free service, I have no problem with them doing that. Doesn't mean I'll vote yes for it, but that's proper. You're leaving it in the hands of that community to take care of itself. Also, if the state legislature decides that they want to pass a bill to provide free after-school care for their constituents in that state, I have no problem with that either. Doesn't mean I'll vote yes, but it's the proper way to give people the power in their hands in order to help themselves and their own community.
And that's why this whole thing about government's bad has been such a downer.
No, government bad is not a downer. It's deadly. Ask the people of Cambodia.
I don't have the money to have someone take care of my kids.
Because you're a man, sir. And part of the takedown of America is to put women in the place as head of household and to incentivize them to stay that way. If a man turns to the government and says, I need help taking care of these kids, you know what the government's going to tell him? They're going to tell him, man, get out of here. Kick rocks. In today's climate, if you switch genders, I'm sure that they will accommodate you.
Thank God I had my sister, my brother, and my mother who helped me. My sister moved in with me, with she and her husband. But look at all the people who don't have that kind of help. One of the things that I admire about you is you keep talking about what I call equity, just decency, fairness, treating people with respect.
Like you did with Tara Reid, right? Okay.
I heard you say somewhere along the line what I've been saying. This cell phone has changed America. Because what happens now? We're at a point where some brave kid, 15 years old, can stand there and for a total of 8 minutes and 46 seconds take a photograph of a black man whose family I know and met with and understand and spent time with and watched him brutally murdered.
There it is. I called it. Didn't I tell y'all in a previous video that they were going to use 8 minutes and 46 seconds to get people to regress back into being fearful? I had saw this coming a mile away. And no, I'm not an oracle. I'm not going to read your poem. I'm not going to read tea leaves. They're just so predictable. And they know that in this contentious and uncertain climate, that people are more susceptible to react through fear instead of thinking logically about what's going on around them, much less what's going on in their state governments. This is all distraction, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Like people, we're not asking for sympathy. We're not asking for charity. We are just asking for equality.
That's
we
it.
are asking fairness, and we are asking for justice. That is all. I feel like everything that people are asking for is getting interpreted in a very different way. No, it's simple. We just want justice. That's all. We want justice. We want to feel like Americans. We want equality.
Treat me with respect.
Yes, with respect.
Respect.
Listen, you have to give somebody credit when they pull out a truth about a certain situation. She's right. There's a lot of people speaking up and saying a whole lot of something, and everything that they're saying is getting lost in the sauce. And then you're also talking about you guys just want justice, but you also want free Medicare and free tuition too. Don't forget that.
The new generation, my fans, my people, that it's like, this is why we have to go out and vote. I know that the young generation right now with social media, we are just so eager to make money, to look a certain type of way, to have style, celebrity gossip. And it's like, why don't we make a change for real and just vote?
She's right. It just seems like the only concern for our people is how much we can flex, what kind of shoes or bags we got. The number of inches that is on top of our head indicates the amount of wealth we may have. Now, here's where I disagree with her. Voting is not just the answer. How about black folks taking that money for that weave, for them shoes, for them bags, and taking that money, putting it in a pot, and using it in order to use that money to make their own super PAC? It's just a thought. I'm thinking outside the box. Sounds crazy, but I don't know. Other communities doing it. Why aren't we?
Nobody wants to feel targeted. Nobody wants animosity. We just want the best for us. Everybody wants the best for themselves, their future,
exactly
and their
right.
kids' future. I don't want to live to tell my kids, like, you have to be careful going to the store. Don't wear this certain type of clothes. Don't wear a mask. Don't wear a hoodie. Please don't get stopped.
Now, it may be unknown to Candace Owens, but in the black community, we do have our subgroups in the black community where there are certain areas you can't go if you're affiliated with certain people. You can't wear a certain type of clothing or color or the color of clothing it is. So that is a talk that I've had growing up. Like, there were certain parts of neighborhoods that I couldn't go into because of who my stepdad was, or I couldn't wear, certain colors and stuff like that. So that is part of what we face as black people. And unfortunately, it's a sad reality. It's a sad truth, actually. And that's a talk that a lot of parents have with their kids when their kids start to socialize. But if you have to have a talk with your kid and to tell your kid, don't get stopped by the police, then I'm sorry, my opinion, you failed as a parent. Because either your kid is bad as hell, they're involved in some fuck shit, or they're involved with people involved with some fuck shit. Just saying.
I get elected president, free college education for 4 years of college, flat out. Anybody with a family less than 125 grand, you're going to get a free education. Everybody gets free education.
Now, Cardi girl, flex that political muscle. Here we go.
People want to know, can you provide college education this Medicare plan without a big chunk of taxes coming out of our checks.
And the way we can pay for all of this is doing practical things, like making sure that no corporation making a profit should pay less than 15% tax on their profit. None. Zero. Everybody has to pay their fair share.
Paying their fair share. Translation, we about to go broke. America is going to go broke, y'all. And that means no ticket sales for Cardi B. Because we all going to have to make that decision. Either pay up for people to have free Medicare and free tuition, or miss out on that WAP Hot Girl Summer Convention featuring yours truly and Meg Thee Stallion. Just saying.
Thank you for your willingness to help. I promise I'll make mistakes as president, but I'll admit to the mistakes I make, and you're never going to have to wonder whether I'll keep my word.
All right.
Thank you.
I would like to see it.
Okay, so I don't care if a president makes mistakes, okay? Because we're all human. Just don't make the mistake, the willful mistake, of getting rid of my civil liberties. And we be all right. So that's all I got to say about this, you guys. If you guys have any comments that you'd like to leave them in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. This election is definitely in game. And if we, Black people, elect these people to represent us, we hold them accountable, not by saying that we voted for them, but by putting our dollars that we make behind that vote. All other racial groups understand this dynamic, but why can't we? We want to spend our money on things that we know that will not give us a return on our investment. Material things that are fads and are in constant flux with the changing times. Hell, if Black people don't want to put money behind a candidate to make sure that Black people have a platform to implement the changes that they want to see, educate yourselves on your candidate. Know their record, know their platform, and how that platform will directly impact you, your family, and your community. But most importantly, will this candidate impede, suspend my civil liberties? And you guys think you have it bad now, protesting out in the streets, that the criminal justice system is systematically biased against people of color? You guys ain't seen nothing yet. It used to be that Black people were the canary in the coal mine. But I'm going to let y'all in on something. You just wait and see. When they're done railroading white people through the criminal justice system, you're next. Believe that. You heard it here first. I'm Basic Black Becky. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Take care. Peace.
Bitches be pressed. They know how I'm coming, real bitch in the flesh. Who the fuck she gon' check? She be talking that shit.